Chukwuemeka Ezugo, simply known by his sobriquet Reverend King, is a Christian preacher from Anambra State, southeast Nigeria. In 2006, he rose to nationwide recognition following the murder of a church member, Anozo. He was subsequently sentenced to death in January 2007, and his conviction was upheld by the Supreme Court of Nigeria on February 26, 2016. Early life and education. Ezugo was born in Umilokwe village in the Achina community of the Agwata local government area, Anambra State, Nigeria. He attended Premier Primary School, Onitsha, for his basic education, and he obtained a degree in psychology at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Ministry. Ezugo is the founder of Christian Praying Assembly, a religious organization for which he served as the general overseer until September 2006. Trial. On September 26, 2016, he was arraigned before the Lagos High Court on 6 charges of murder and attempted murder. He was arrested and charged to court primarily due to the murder of Anozo, one of his members, of which he pleaded not guilty, as she was said to have died as a result of Ezugo setting her on fire, with eyewitnesses saying he did it because he caught the victim in the act of fornication. In whole, a total of 10 witnesses came forward, testifying that Reverend King was the perpetrator. The lawyer defending Reverend King debunked the statements of the 10 witnesses, pointing out the discrepancies in their statements, which however was true. The witnesses made some contradicting statements to their earlier statements. Clarification needed. These errors were however too little to prove anything substantial, as the presiding judge, Justice Joseph Oywole, of the Lagos High Court Ikeja, on January 11, 2007 found him guilty of the murder of Anozo and sentenced him to death by hanging, plus 20 years for attempted murder. Controversy. Illicit sex with members. During his trial in the Lagos High Court Ikeja, a witness, Edwin Akubu, who was later identified as a key and notable member of Reverend King's ministry, testified that Ezugo was romantically involved with his wife prior to the events of the trial. Violence against parishioners. Reverend King affirmed the allegations of him molesting his church members when he made these statements in the court of law. I am a preacher. I know that the spirit of witchcraft is against the Almighty God. If somebody is a liar, he is bewitching God. I don't condone lie. Dr. King does not condone sin. I flog a lot. I have canes. If husband and wife mess up by having misunderstanding, I have to settle them. But the person that is at fault, I must flog. If the person refuses to be flogged, I will send him out of the church. Sexual perversion. During the trial, a female student named Miss Chibuzer was brought in to testify, by the then Director of Public Persecutions named Mrs. Bola Okikiluwail. Appeal. Chukwuemeka Ezugo, with the sobriquet Reverend King, was very disappointed with the verdict of the Lagos State High Court and challenged it right there, as he uttered words that portrayed his disappointment. The case was pushed to the Lagos State Court of Appeal as Reverend wasn't so pleased with the verdict issued. However, the case was thrown out by the Lagos State Court of Appeal, which even enforced the earlier verdict. A once again disappointed Reverend King and his lawyer took the case to the highest court in Nigeria, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of Nigeria on February 26, 2017, unanimously agreed to follow the original verdict in 2006, which read, that he should be put to death by hanging. Now, from 2006 to 2017, 11 years, he had been in jail without any option of bail, as evidence against him was highly incriminating.